It's 1985, following the closing of his nightclub and failed recordings. Russel Crowe wonders, what's next? Things turn around for Russell when, in 1986, he auditions for and lands the role of Eddie Dr. Scott in the Auckland stage production of The Rocky Horror Show. The critics who once panned his music are now suddenly praising his acting ability. When the Auckland Rocky Horror production wraps, Russell moves to Sydney to find work, believing that his true road to fame may be through acting. He eventually hooks up with the Australian stage production of Rocky Horror. From the start, Russell impresses his castmates with his energy, drive, and attitude.
At first it was like, Russ is a bit, full of himself. He does, nobody really knows him here. He might be a bit of an identity in New Zealand, but he's only new here. And as the weeks went on, that kind of focus and determination and confidence really came through as he knew exactly what he wanted and where he wanted to be.
His mentor on the set is legendary Australian actor Stuart Wagstaff.
Once I saw the intensity of his work, he was breathtaking. I mean, you could not take your eyes off him on that stage. He's got star quality, is the word.
In contrast to the ladies' man reputation he'll develop later in life, Russell has a fairly serious girlfriend, and he often passes up late-night parties to spend free time with her. It isn't long before Russell takes his talent to the big screen when, in 1990, he makes his first on-screen appearance in the film Blood Oath. Russell is spotted by acclaimed Australian director George Ogilvy, who wants him to be in his movie, The Crossing.
George Ogilvy is known to have a wonderful eye for talent, so for him to cast his eye on Russell and give him the nod, then certainly Russell would have known that this was an incredible break.
He lands the role of the lead, playing Johnny in the steamy love triangle set in a small Australian town.
I gotta go. See you later.
Meg, I love you.
It was a romantic movie, and it was a big thing for Russell to take on because in many ways it went against the kind of person that he really was. But he stood out in the movie nevertheless.
Russell's love interest in The Crossing is Danielle Spencer, a young actress starring in her first movie.
Make up your mind.
Maybe I have. I'll go to the city.
With Sam.
I didn't say that.
Russell and Danielle fall in love both on and off the set and discover they share a common passion.
Music at that time was their first love. Danielle is still today quite a successful singer, terrific singer, great songwriter. I think that was the main thing that drew them together. It was just one of those chemistry things.
It won't be the only time that Russell will be romantically linked with one of his co-stars. With things looking up for Russell personally, he is also suddenly on a roll professionally. He earns a nomination for Best Supporting Actor from the Australian Film Institute for his performance in The Crossing. But it won't be until the following year that he'll actually take home an award for a role in his next film, Proof.
The first film that Russel Crowe was noticed in was Proof, which did very well in Australia, and it did pretty well on our shores too.
Remember the blind man from the other night? He's here to see you.
In Proof, Russell plays a dishwasher who befriends a blind man played by Hugo Weaving, and they go about solving a crime. It was a bizarre concept, but Hugo Weaving, a highly acclaimed actor, and Russell Crowe looking for a challenge, both took it on, and with enormous success.
And the award goes to Russell Crowe for Proof.
I'd like to thank very much Jocelyn Moorhouse for writing such a wonderful script and directing such a lovely film.
Following his success in Proof, Russell is inundated with scripts. He is officially on his way to the big time.
Coming next, the controversial role that makes him an international star and wins him the attention of one of the most powerful women in Hollywood.
And that performance was unnerving. It was scary to watch.
Tomorrow at 9 on a new MSNBC Investigates. The trauma is real.
Hang on, this is gonna hurt.
Their stories will move you.
Child took the seatbelt off.
Meet Meet the doctors, nurses, and patients of Heartland ER. A new MSNBC Investigates, tomorrow at 9 on MSNBC.
Hi, Anthony Sullivan here with a great new invention. It's called the Pro Trim Shielded Paint Roller. And if you've ever painted a room before, you know how long it takes to tape up and cut in with a small brush. The Pro Trim changes the way you paint. It's a self-guiding mini roller that does the hard work for you. Place the shield against the trim and the roller against the wall and let your woodwork be your guide. It's like a train on a railroad track. Right or left-handed, it gives you a clean, professional look, wall to wall. The clever design presses the paint to its finest point. No paint leaks underneath, and you get a straight edge every time. Here's how it works. Load the roller with the paint, adjust the spring-loaded arm with one hand, and let your woodwork be your guide. Use it up high on crown molding. Save time by painting around fixtures and fittings like light switch plates or lamps. It's great for windows and door frames too. It's small enough to paint furniture like bookshelves. By the time you were to tape this window up, you have it finished with Pro Trim. The Pro Trim is specially designed to fit into small areas like bathrooms, where it'll glide around mirrors, cabinets, and ceramic tile. When you remove the shield, getting into tight areas and feathering out rough spots for uniform texture is easy too. Because there's nap on the inside, it'll paint both sides of an inside corner, saving you time. Use it outside on lap siding and fencing. The Pro Trim works with oil, latex, or stains, and the rollers are refillable, replaceable, and rewashable. Even expensive electric rollers like this can't cut in like the Pro Trim. Call now and you'll get the Pro Trim for just $19.99. It comes complete with the paint tray and the instructional guide. But call in the next 5 minutes and we'll include 3 extra rollers at $15 value free. That means you get the ready-to-use Pro Trim, the paint tray, the guide, and 3 extra rollers, all for just $19.99. So call this number right now. Here's how to order.
Have your credit card ready and order the amazing ready-to-use Pro Trim kit for only $19.99. Order now and get 3 extra rollers. That's the $15 value. Yours free. Call 1-800-793-7733. Call now.
Thank you. Magical touch.
By 1992, just 2 years after his start in movies, Russel Crowe is beginning to make a name for himself in Australia. He's also busy in his personal life. He is in love with Australian actress Danielle Spencer and considering marriage. Russell turns to an old friend for guidance.
I persuaded him that it wasn't a good idea. I said, if you settle down now, and that stops your ambition with children or whatever, ties you down, you're going to regret that later on. And I quoted to him an old saying, he travels fastest who travels alone.
Russell takes the advice and puts off proposing to Danielle. Around the same time, he lands the role that will cast him into the international spotlight. He delivers an edgy and intense performance as a neo-Nazi named Hando in Romper Stomper.
For a period of time, I was an expert on all things concerning the Third Reich and concerning that particular political philosophy, you know.
Losing himself in a role becomes commonplace for Crowe, which sometimes causes identity problems.
Russel Crowe's delivered a lot of really strong performances early in his career where he really got into a character and he mutated into different characters, so it was hard for people to see who the real Russel Crowe was.
What the f*** are you afraid of? This is our place. No more running. We stop them here!
I mean, that performance was unnerving. It was scary to watch. It was almost too real. After that, he was a household name.
Russell takes home the Australian Best Actor Award for the film and immediately begins to feel the effects of his great success. He receives numerous offers from American agents hoping to represent him. But it will be the actress Sharon Stone who brings him to the States.
She has a great eye for talent, and she wanted him and nobody else.
I think she watched about 20 minutes of Romper Stone before she turned it off, which is very funny. She came to me, she said, listen, like, I know you're really good, I know you're fearless, I know you've got an incredibly strong presence, but I can't watch that sort of violence. I'm going to throw up. So I had to turn it off. And that's funny, you know, from the old Ice Pick Queen herself.
Stone insists that Crowe be cast in her upcoming film, The Quick and the Dead, in which she stars and co-produces. Russell has already begun production on the Australian film, The Sum of Us. Stone stops production on her film until Crowe can come to the U.S.
I think a lot of people were somewhat surprised that he was going to go into a movie that really didn't seem to be on paper an enormous challenge for him as an actor. But nevertheless, it was a reasonably big Hollywood budget movie opposite Sharon Stone, pretty hot Hollywood star, an opportunity too good to resist.
I'm not fighting you.
I'm not fighting you.
Crowe throws himself into his first American project, but his hard work takes a toll on him personally. The time away from Danielle Spencer puts a strain on their relationship. Crowe tries to convince her to move to Hollywood to pursue her career. She resists.
I think in the end it was like a lot of relationships with actors. Their work just drew them apart. They were in different parts of the world. There was no actual big breakup as such. There was no dumping of one of the other. They just decided to go their separate ways.
While The Quick and the Dead does not make headlines among critics, something else does. Tabloid reports that Russell and Sharon Stone have become involved. Stone and Crowe will later deny the reports. Following The Quick and the Dead, Crowe is tapped for a role in the film Virtuosity. But when Denzel Washington is cast as the lead, the studio wants a bigger name in the co-starring role. Russel Crowe's American acting career looks like it's about to end before it begins.
Up next, the confidential screen test for a role that will make Crowe a Hollywood name and his celebrated temper.
You bet he's intense. He's intense, he's passionate about what he does.
How to survive the market's historically troubled fall season. Join Ron and Sana and Sue Herrera tomorrow on CNBC Business Center at 6 p.m. Eastern.
This is a medicine. These are the cells in your body. Take most medicines and they scatter throughout your body to every cell. But right now, America's pharmaceutical company researchers are creating new smart medicines. They can ignore healthy cells and go straight to the disease to fight illnesses like leukemia, arthritis, and heart disease. Soon, there will be a lot more of these smart medicines. You can bank on it.
Vacation truth number 56. Even a short line is too long. At Alamo, we know. With new Quick Rent, anyone can rent online and skip the line. No waiting, no worries. Drive happy.
At Pearl Vision, our fabulous buy one get one free sale just got better. Now the free glasses can be for you or your child. That's right, free glasses for you or your child. Only at Pearl Vision.
When you go to your Mazda dealer, you'll see every Mazda is going fast. It's the Mazda Make Your Move event. Right now, get great cash back and special low financing on the fun-to-drive Mazda Protege, sporty Mazda 626, and Mazda MPV. It's the best time of the year to get into a new Mazda. So hurry to your Houston area Mazda dealer.
Come to Kingfish Market and let award-winning executive chef Rob Allgood and his talented staff prepare you a better business lunch. With over 30 items under $10, we are the best seafood value. Come try our Snapper Laguna, jumbo lump crab cakes, pistachio-crusted salmon, or the best grilled tuna salad in Houston.
For a better business lunch, come to Kingfish Market on Richmond Avenue, where fish is our middle name.
Tomorrow on a new Headliners and Legends, he survived bad reviews, surprise revelations, and loss.
I have to say the most catastrophic things that have happened to me in my life.
Find out how martial arts helped Chuck survive 30 years in the spotlight. Chuck Norris on Headliners and Legends, tomorrow at 10 on MSNBC.
This is Headliners and Legends.
with Matt Lauer.
It is 1995, and Russel Crowe is on the verge of being sent back to Hollywood's minor leagues. He's been cast opposite Denzel Washington in the thriller Virtuosity. But when the budget rises, so do the stakes. And studio executives start pushing director Brett Leonard to replace Crowe with a bigger name actor.
Finally, the studio agrees to give Russel Crowe a screen test opposite Denzel Washington for Virtuosity. But it doesn't go quite the way Crowe hoped.
So they go, action, and I jump down off this thing and start screaming at him. And the very first word I said, this little piece of spittle comes out of my mouth, and it winds its way very athletically through the wire fence and goes onto Denzel's mouth.
Oh, my God.
And now, see, 99% of actors would have just been like, out of there, you know what I mean?
Sure.
And he just stayed in there because he knows it's my screen test, the camera's on me, so he's like right there, he just does the lines and everything. Absolutely cool, really. The director says cut and he goes,
Russell gets the part and plays computerized serial killer Sid 6.7 so well, he nearly steals the show.
Love the suit.
The bad guy's the good part. Russell's got the good part. I'm so jealous. He's got the good part.
Despite Washington's big-name presence, Virtuosity flounders and does nothing to further Russell's name in the United States. Discouraged, he'll play a handful of unnoticed roles before landing the role that will finally establish him in Hollywood. The movie is L.A. Confidential, about the seedy side of 1950s Los Angeles. Crowe's screen test so impresses director Curtis Hanson that he immediately takes it to producer Arnon Milchan.
I took this tape out to Arnon's house. I said, "This is my Bud White."
So I said, "Who is this?" He said, "Well, it's a guy called Russel Crowe." I said, "Oh, he's great. Where is he from?" I said, "Oh, he's Australian." I said, "Oh, he's Australian. Okay."
But when fellow Australian newcomer Guy Pearce is cast, Crowe's role is suddenly in jeopardy again. Producers are concerned about making a film without any big-name stars. But when Kevin Spacey, Kim Basinger, and Danny DeVito are added to the cast, it's suddenly a Hollywood who's who list, ensuring Crowe will finally be seen by U.S. audiences.
I describe it actually as the first adult film that I've made in America, because I can recommend it to people, you know, across the board, no matter what their age range or demographic.
Crowe's role as tough guy police officer Bud White earns critical acclaim. But ironically, his exceptional talent also works against him.
He's that good of an actor that he can sort of disappear in movies. Like L.A. Confidential, he stood out, but yet he didn't grab the spotlight.
Between movies, Crowe retreats to his new 560-acre farm in Australia, where he raises cattle and horses with his parents and brother. But it won't be long before he gets his next major role, an offer to play real-life tobacco whistleblower Jeffrey Wigand. Wigand is a middle-aged scientist, and at first, Crowe thinks he's been sent the wrong script.
And when Russell came in, he was curious why I was even interested in seeing him.
You get lucky every now and then, and someone like Michael Mann calls you up and he takes you seriously as an artist, and he gives you the opportunity to go somewhere extreme, you know.
To get his role in The Insider exactly right, Crowe studies Wigand's actual testimony, dyes his hair gray, and even gains 35 pounds on a diet of cheeseburgers and bourbon.
You couldn't tell them apart, really, except that Russell, in real life, Russell's a bigger man, so you knew because of the change of height who they were, but otherwise, it was an incredible likeness.
Christopher Plummer plays veteran 60 Minutes correspondent Mike Wallace, with Al Pacino as producer Lowell Bergman. Plummer and Crowe hit it off right away.
We immediately got on because he has a devilish sense of humor. He's a devil. He's got a wonderful, rebellious, irreverent attitude toward life, which I'm crazy about.
Plummer fondly remembers him being hard to keep up with off the set.
He can put the tequila away almost better than anyone I've ever known. I pretend to drink with Russell because he insists on, always at the end of a day shooting, he would insist on bringing it to his dressing room and opening the best tequila in the world, ice. I tried it, but I hide it. I pour mine into a potted palm somewhere just behind the chair.
You fought for me?
While The Insider is not a huge box office success, Russell's intense performance earns him award nominations and critical attention. He gets even more attention when he shows up at the Golden Globes with actress Jodie Foster. They appear giddy about their friendship.
How do you guys know each other? Well, we met, I think we met in the limo. No, we actually just met recently, and I'm a big fan.
Very recently.
The pair will later say they're just friends. And months later, at the March Oscars, Crowe, so often linked to high-profile women, shows up with his niece as his date. Both award shows will be letdowns for Crowe when he loses the trophies to Kevin Spacey for American Beauty. The disappointment is compounded by unflattering reports appearing in the media that Crowe's explosive personality on screen isn't just for the cameras. He's earning a reputation as being temperamental and stubborn, a challenge to work with. Crowe describes it as being focused and intense.
You know, I'm very hypercritical, which is the only reason I've progressed in the first place, because everything I do, nothing satisfies me.
You bet he's intense. He's intense, he's passionate about what he does, and that's certainly what I want in an actor.
But the reports of trouble on the set will only worsen with his next role, a part that will change his life.
Coming up, how the triumph of Gladiator almost never happened.
The script that they had didn't satisfy anybody.
And the hard knocks on and off the set.
Did you break anything?
Yeah, a few things.
The Power Source is brought to you by Zenith. Digitize the experience.
Digital audio is changing not only how, but where people experience their music. With increased memory of up to 6 gigabytes, today's MP3 players are capable of storing 150 full-length CDs, over 100 hours of music. By transferring audio files either from a personal computer or CD player, you can now take your entire music collection with you, wherever you go.
Careful. That's a Zenith digital TV you're looking at. From big to small to flat to thin, you can't escape the power of Zenith Digital.
I have type 2 diabetes, and I will always take care of myself. I stick to my regimen. I had to make that commitment to diet and exercise.
But diet and exercise weren't enough.
So my doctor added Avandia to help control my blood sugar.
Unlike some diabetes medications, Avandia helps my body use the natural insulin it already makes.
Avandia has helped keep my blood sugar down for about a year now.
Avandia in combination with insulin may increase the risk of serious heart problems. Because of this, talk to your doctor before using Avandia and insulin together. Avandia may cause fluid retention or swelling, which could lead to or worsen heart failure. Avandia is not for everyone. If you have severe heart failure or active liver disease, Avandia is not recommended. Some people may experience weight gain with Avandia. To check for serious liver problems, blood tests should be conducted before and during Avandia therapy.
This commitment is for me, but it's also for my family.
Eat right, exercise, and if that's not enough, ask your doctor about Avandia.
So I may always be stronger than diabetes.
In 1999, Russel Crowe is approached to do a movie about a gladiator in ancient Rome, directed by Ridley Scott. There isn't even a script, and he almost says no.
Well, I was really only given a concept to begin with. You know, they rang up and they said, Ridley Scott, 185 AD, you begin as a general. Ordinarily, I would simply say no and walk away and wait till I found the script that was finished. And I just couldn't get the 185 AD and the you begin as a general out of my mind, you know.
Crowe agrees to play Maximus Decimus Meridius, but to do it, he has 5 months to shed the 35 pounds gained for The Insider.
It was very, very difficult. And I went to see a doctor partway through the process of bringing the weight down, because it seemed to be taking a remarkably long time, you know.
Part of his training includes sword fighting, since Crowe insists on doing his own stunts. But producers draw the line at his desire to use real swords instead of props. He'll joke about the stunts with Jay Leno.
Did you break anything? Did you break anything?
Yeah, a few things. Just little things.
Just little things?
Yeah, just limbs, you know. Nothing, nothing that doesn't knit back together, let's put it that way. I've got, you know, some of the areas of my fingers are lacking in a bit of feeling these days because of getting chopped with the swords and, you know.
One injury is serious enough to eventually require shoulder surgery. And while the movie uses computer technology to recreate the ancient Roman Colosseum, one thing that is 100% authentic, Russell's proximity to the tigers.
The tigers were real. Russell was really out there with the tigers. The tigers, when they were pissed off because they were pissed off. They don't have, like, "you will now be pissed off" scripts.
I had this one moment where I rolled past this hole as the tiger comes out, you know, and I could just sense that they'd released the tiger a little early, you know. I could just feel it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the only way I could get out of the way of that hole is by, you know, completing the routine. So I just accelerate the moves and get around the other side.
But the sword fights aren't the only battles on the set. Crowe is outspoken when he sees problems with the way the script has been reworked.
When Russell came back and got involved and came back to make the movie, he definitely noticed and let everyone know, on no uncertain terms, that they screwed up.
The script that they had didn't satisfy anybody involved in the piece at that time. It was too cynical, it was too modern, it was talking, you know, making gags about advertising, things like that, which I didn't see any point in.
I was happy to hear that because it made everybody kind of wake up and say, okay, what are we doing here?
The disagreements lead to last-minute rewrites and frayed nerves.
And there was friction, but there had to be. Look at it from their point of view, for Christ's sake. It's a $100 million movie, and Ridley's getting pages at dinner so he can go shoot them the next morning. I mean, he maybe should have had those a month ago.
Word of dissension reaches the press, which reports Russell is throwing tantrums on the set. It only adds to his already volatile reputation.
Sometimes Russell is perceived or spoken about like he's some sort of rock star diva. I think what he does is he works hard. He wants to deliver a great performance. He takes that extra take, and if people want to call that difficult, then, you know, go ahead. That's ridiculous.
Crowe's demands will pay off. Gladiator is a hit, and the movie catapults him to instant name recognition.
Father to a murdered son, husband to a murdered wife, and I will have my vengeance.
I think people were wondering still, who was Russel Crowe and where did he come from? It's like, where did he come from? He's been here the whole time. He's been acting for a long time. But it took a while for people to really get a grasp of him.
Gladiator is the type of role where Crowe's unique brand of charisma can come out and make him into a star.
His attractiveness doesn't come from his facial features. It comes from a masculinity that's very palpable on screen. And it's that old-fashioned actor, the Richard Burton type roughness. You know, the guy who looks like he'd throw you on the bed.
Are you not entertained?
The roguish image isn't something he fosters just for the big screen. As he becomes more famous, so do the stories of his off-camera antics, including barroom brawls. One particular incident at a bar near his Australian farm in November 1999 is captured by security cameras. Crowe is in the black jacket.
Russell was supposedly chatting up some local girls who did have boyfriends, and that indeed led to this fight, which spilled out into the street. The security camera videotapes were accessed by people who went to Russell and said, "Pay up or we release them."
Instead, Russell goes to the police, and the suspected extortionists are arrested. By the time he starts shooting Proof of Life in the spring of 2000, Russell has a well-established reputation in the press as being short-tempered and unpredictable. The film is about the kidnapping of an American executive in South America. Russell plays a kidnap and ransom consultant.
Then you're going to have to come up with a number that does start to change things.
Who falls in love with the wife of the man he's trying to rescue, played by Meg Ryan. And art has a way of spilling into life. In the summer of 2000, news breaks that Ryan and Crowe are having a real-life affair, and Ryan is splitting from her husband of 9 years, Dennis Quaid.
The truth is that Meg Ryan hadn't really been with Dennis Quaid for a long time. She said that their marriage was having problems, and she probably was pretty much a single woman wearing a wedding band when she met Russell Crowe. I think people were very unfair in saying that, you know, they were running around having this sordid affair.
Crowe and Ryan are followed everywhere by paparazzi and bombarded with questions about the affair. It completes the souring of his already tenuous relationship with the press.
Aren't they all true? That's what I'm asking Isn't what you you. read in the newspapers true, folks? I'm asking you. Well, I'll tell you what, mate. Meg Ryan is a beautiful and courageous woman, and she's very, very special.
Questions about the relationship dominate publicity at the release of Proof of Life.
I mean, I don't really want to comment on that relationship, really, but I will say that that kind of tabloid attention is, there's just no way to really explain what that experience is all about.
You do begin to resent that people have license to simply make up stuff about you. You know, that you're getting married, or you're having a baby, or you're having piglets or twins, or I don't know.
There was great excitement in the Australian press that Russell and Meg were planning a wedding. Now, this started because he'd gone out and he'd hired tables and chairs and booked a band and all this stuff. But he, in fact, was organising a New Year's Eve party.
Crowe will celebrate alone. By the time of the party, the couple has broken off their 6-month relationship, and several reports say it's because Russell refused to trade in his farm for the full-time glitter of Hollywood.
There were reports that he'd chosen his cows over Meg Ryan, which I thought was a very cheap tabloid way of really summing up what he felt, and frankly, that's not what he felt at all.
Russell himself will be very gracious about the breakup in an interview with TV New Zealand.
I'm not in my 20s. I can't just drop all the things that drive me as a man. You know, I'm 36 years old. She's of a similar age, and she has the same size of life. And you know, she's a beautiful and courageous woman, mate, you know. And spending time with her was one of the luckiest things in my life, I think.
In fact, a friend of Ryan's is quoted as saying it was Ryan who broke it off because Crowe was too intense, plying her with gifts like a 1963 Buick Riviera and talking about marriage and kids. It's a theme Crowe has confessed to openly in interviews. He looks forward to having a wife and family.
I think Russell will settle down. I mean, I don't think there's any doubt that when that right girl comes along, he wants to be a father, and I think in turn he'll settle down.
Crowe takes a short break from Hollywood, turning to his other passion, recording and performing with his band, 30-odd Foot of Grunts. He's never outgrown his love of music, and he now has a strong fan base.
And I think having a band is you just get up on stage with 300-400 people, a couple thousand people, and you're playing music, and you get this instantaneous reaction, and you're the boss of your own situation.
When do I get to go?
Russell writes most of the songs and certainly most of the lyrics, and often the lyrics are like poetry. There is a very soft side of him that comes out when he's sitting down, putting pen to paper, writing words to songs.
It's an image that doesn't fit the Playboy headlines. Crowe is portrayed as a tomcat on the prowl, caught kissing Courtney Love after the Oscars and romantically linked in the tabloids to Nicole Kidman after her breakup with Tom Cruise. It all makes the gossip columns and will come back to haunt Crowe in coming months.
Coming next, the world is watching Crowe, and so is the FBI.
We received word of a possible kidnap attempt.
When he was at the Golden Globes, the FBI went with him into the bathroom, 7 of them.
It's off to work we go. We keep on singing all day long. Hi-ho, 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 gonna make your troubles go.
Want happy employees? Help secure their financial futures. At the Principal Financial Group, that's what we do. The Principal is the 401k leader. Financial solutions for you and growing businesses.
Who's our 401k with?
The Principal Financial Group. We understand what you're working for.
OnStar now offers a safer way to make calls on the road.
Personal calling.
Call Vicky Vale.
Hello?
Things are heating up. I'll be a little late.
How late?
Very late.
There's never a good time to take your eyes off the road. Voice-activated calling from OnStar.
Houston Arena Theater presents a night of cool jazz. The legendary Bonnie James. And same night, the artistry of Peter White. Live in concert September 9th at Houston Arena Theater. Bonnie James and Peter White. special guests Scott Gerdner and Bobby Lyle. A red-hot night of jazz. Tickets at the Arena Theater. All ticket masters charged by phone or online.
What store searches the world to find the most beautiful gold jewelry, guarantees you'll get the carats and quality you've been promised, and has sold enough necklaces and bracelets to make a golden chain around the moon twice? What store? You're looking at it. Watch the Klondike Gold Rush on QVC. All new 14-karat gold jewelry at special prices. All day Friday, August 17th.
Keeping your child safe. Now, 2 of the most common vaccines could put kids in real danger. New information for parents. NBC Nightly News tomorrow.
Why don't you open the vault for me? To catch criminals this good.
You might want to catch the next one.
Sure. You need police who can get under their skin. From the producers of Aaron Brockovich.
I got him on video.
And the writer of Armageddon.
Salvation!
You see Undercover, NBC Sundays this fall.
By the spring of 2001, Russel Crowe is Hollywood's latest white-hot superstar, being watched closely not only by the paparazzi, but also by the FBI.
We received word of a possible kidnap attempt that would be levied against Russel Crowe.
The Aussie tough guy is said to be the target of a kidnapping plot, received by the FBI sometime in January.
And since then, he's been under heavy protection from the FBI.
We had bodyguards all the time. Like, this guy was his date for the Golden Globe.
When he was at the Golden Globes, the FBI went with him into the bathroom. When he went to go use the bathroom, 7 of them.
Russell will later downplay the threat.
Because quite frankly, you know, if you wanted to spend that much time with me in a little room, I think you get into a very Hemingway kind of situation there when they'd be on the phone going, look, we've you know, passed the hat around, we got a couple $100, can you take him off our hands?
There's speculation in some corners that the threat, eerily similar to the plot of Proof of Life, might be a studio publicity stunt to resuscitate the box office. To combat the speculation, the normally tight-lipped FBI goes public.
We have notified Scotland Yard prior to his travel to England. That, I think, does indicate that we regard this as a serious matter.
If the FBI is coming out and talking about a possible celebrity abduction, you know that it is extremely serious.
But authorities release few other details. Flanked by security guards, Crowe arrives at the Academy Awards with ex-girlfriend Danielle Spencer, raising eyebrows and speculation about their relationship. But that's not what people will really remember about that night. First, there's his apparent inability to laugh at his reputation in the tabloids.
Ellen Burstyn did something that not many actresses would do for a role in a movie. She made herself look 30 pounds heavier and 20 years older. And Russel Crowe still hit on her.
He's sort of new to Hollywood. This attention on him is new, and he probably doesn't know how to handle it.
You've been in the news constantly all year for your romances and supposed romances. You've got to know that you're going to be the butt of a couple of gags.
Finally, the big announcement that does put a smile on his face. The Best Actor Award, an honor he's told friends he doesn't expect to win.
Russel Crowe in Gladiator.
And when he won, what? They gave it to him.
But even his eloquent acceptance speech.
And for anybody who's on the downside of advantage and relying purely on courage, it's possible.
Is soon overshadowed by his impatience with the press.
I'm only into short answers. Ask me questions that I can answer yes or no or shortly, and then we'll all get on really well.
And maybe he could have been a little sweeter, but it's not in his nature to be sweet. It's not in his nature to cater to the press.
Within days, Crowe is back to work and back to controversy. On the set of his new movie, A Beautiful Mind, directed by Ron Howard on the campus of Princeton University, a student taking his picture gets something she didn't expect. A shot of Crowe giving her the middle finger.
Now, I mean, let's face it, in the overall scheme of things, doing it to someone is not the worst thing in the world. And yet again, 2 days after all of that great glory and that wonderful heartfelt acceptance speech, people are saying, oh, he's back to his old ways again.
Crowe is once again working with his old friend Christopher Plummer, who has just one request for his partying pal.
So Russell, don't ply me with drinks on this next film, please. You're going to kill me.
Showing no signs of slowing down himself, Russell is soon taking on new challenges, producing and directing a World War II drama, and leading his band on a sold-out American tour.
Wasn't part of the plan.
So, with an Oscar on his shelf,
What do we got? We just happen to have one of these just hanging around.
and an apparently busy future on the horizon, one question remains. Will Hollywood tire of the Aussie's antics, or will his unpredictability keep America intrigued?
I think he wants to be his own man. He doesn't want to be a byproduct. And for that, he's to be congratulated.
I admire tremendously how versatile he is. I think that Russell Crowe is probably the most versatile actor on the screen today.
Russell Crowe's gift is to take a challenge on, to deliver a performance that will be thoroughly believable, possibly scary, maybe sexy. Whatever is required, he'll do it. That's his gift as an actor.
I pinch myself pretty much daily, you know, and I think that's, you know, why I still enjoy it the way I enjoy it, because, you know, I know every step of how I got to where I am, you know, and I remember exactly who I was when I started.
So what's next for Crowe? Well, James Bond may be calling. Pierce Brosnan is expected to turn over the 007 role after one more film, and many people consider Crowe to be the best man to be the next James Bond. I'm Matt Lauer. Thanks for watching.
For information on upcoming programs, go to prime.msnbc.com.
I gotta get out, gotta run away. Can't afford the maintenance, baby. Things have gotta change, things have gotta change. Things have got to change. Pointless conversation, changing nothing, just wasting time.
Can I get life insurance at my age, in my health?
I'd like to leave my loved ones with a little something when I'm gone, but I'm afraid I'm too old to get life insurance.
If you're like these nice folks and thought life insurance after 45 was impossible to get or impossible to afford, I've got good news. If you're 45 to 79, Physicians Life guarantees you up to $10,000 of permanent modified whole life insurance, designed to help your family with the expenses they will face. There's no medical exam, no health questions. You can buy this policy if you're 45 to 79 and you're insured for life. Just $1 pays for your first month of protection. After that, you can continue at an affordable monthly renewal rate that can never go up. Plus, your coverage can never be canceled no matter what your age or health. Easy to get and easy to afford. Now let me tell you why this protection is so important. All of us someday will leave behind expenses for our loved ones to pay. There's no escaping it. Those expenses can easily add up to thousands of dollars. You know, some people even expect the government to take care of these expenses. But the fact is, Social Security pays a death benefit of just $255, and only if you qualify. That's why I urge you to take a look at this plan. It's one sure and affordable way you can help leave your loved ones with dollars instead of debts. For all the details, just call the toll-free number to get this free information kit from Physicians Life. You get it directly by mail. There's no cost or obligation of any kind. You're just calling for information. This is one phone call your loved ones will be thankful for later. So call right now.
When you need us, Physicians Life.
MSNBC next on Headliners and Legends. Find out how the new Madonna is seducing a whole new generation. Headliners and Legends next on MSNBC. Tomorrow on a new Headliners and Legends. He's survived bad reviews.
He has about 6 facial expressions, and one of them is when he's shaved, and one of them is when he's unshaved.
A shocking family revelation.
I was his daughter.
And loss.
I have to say, the most catastrophic things that have happened to me.
Find out how martial arts helped Chuck survive 30 years in the spotlight. Chuck Norris on Headliners and Legends, tomorrow at 10 on MSNBC.
There is simply nobody like her. She's a pop diva.
Coffee. I want my coffee.
A movie star, a multimedia empire unto herself.
Come on, girls. You believe in love.
She's managed to sell more records and shock more people than any female entertainer in history.
It was amazing. How do you shock a room full of celebrities? Well, Madonna did it.
Driven since childhood by the death of her mother, determined to make her mark on the world, then has she ever. An uncompromising artist living on the edge.
Absolutely no regret.
Her life and loves have played out like a soap opera for everyone to see.
Don't ever tell me to stop.
From Penn to Rodman, from Beatty to Ritchie. But behind her public image is a very complex woman.
As confident as I may appear, I am crippled with insecurities, I can assure you.
In this hour, how she became Madonna.
Strike the pose.
This is Headliners and Legends with Matt Lauer.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to Headliners and Legends. When you come down to it, you know what Madonna Louise Ciccone is. She's a classic American success story. Someone who, as Bette Midler once put it, pulled herself up by her bra straps. With a genius for self-promotion and an instinct for what the public really wants, Madonna has become one of
Dead. The star of the film, Sharon Stone, took one look at Romper Stomper and knew she wanted Crowe.
So for me, the catalyst was Sharon Stone making the decision that she wanted to work with me.
I believe that they had to delay production on The Quick and the Dead in order for him to be able to take up that role. So he owes it to Sharon Stone. I don't know if he ever sent her flowers or anything, but he ought.
In the movie, Crowe played a moody gunfighter. The actor had to contend with an unforgiving six-shooter.
See, I was working with this gun when you filmed me before, right? Which is a Dakota Model Colt, which is really nicely balanced and does everything for you, you know. However, in the film, the routine that I was doing with the spinning and stuff, I have to do with a Schofield, which is why my fingers, that's real blood.
With a little patience and a few band-aids, Crowe mastered the art of gunfighting. Russell also mastered the art of answering questions from the press.
Why people like Westerns? Yeah, well, I think it sort of just harkens back to a wilder time when things were a little less controlled or whatever, you know. A time when a man could really be a man. And all the sheep were very nervous.
Studio executives were also nervous as The Quick and the Dead opened poorly, eventually making less than $20 million in the U.S. Though the film flopped, the industry was intrigued by the new Australian in town. Comparisons to another famous Aussie were inevitable.
Every young male actor who makes a film in Australia is called the new Mel Gibson. In fact, we've got a club. It's called the New Mel Gibson Club. And all you need is an article saying that you're the new Mel Gibson and you can be a member of that club.
This new Mel Gibson wanted to make it as an actor in America, but becoming a star in Hollywood was a part Crowe refused to play.
If you become an actor because you want lots of money and you want to drive a flashy sports car and you want to hang out at Arnold Schwarzenegger's Christmas party, then go for it. You can go and do that, but that's got nothing to do with me.
He puts up with it. You know, he knows it's a crazy game. He knows it's insane. He knows it's full of crap. There's a lot of pretense.
He's never really loved the media when things that he said were sort of hyped and taken out of context and made to sound not as he intended them, then, you know, he expressed his contempt.
Los Angeles, to me, is just a bit weird. It's a little bit kind of desperate, you know. It's kind of in transition, and I don't think it really just doesn't suit me, you know. I need a little bit more space.
Russell found that space back in Australia. In 1995, Crowe purchased a working farm in Nana Glen, over 300 miles north of Sydney and a world away from Hollywood.
I've been a little busy lately, you may or may not have noticed. And, I mean, I can't even come to a bloody horse ride without you coming with me. I think it's unhealthy for me to think of myself living anywhere else, even if I am only there physically a couple of weeks a year or whatever. That's still where I live, that's where I come from, that's where my family is, that's where my heart is.
It was a heart in need of healing. In 1995, Russel Crowe and sweetheart Danielle Spencer ended their 5-year relationship, but remained close friends. Coming up...
What's the saying? Flows downhill or something? You know? Can you say that on this?
And later, Crowe gets some shocking news.
I was in London and I was naked.
The Last Days of JFK Jr. Tomorrow at 9 on the E! True Hollywood Story.
Now, experience the true intensity of color.
Introducing Herbal Essences Hair Color, made with pure color extracts that saturate your hair for intense color like never before. Shine so brilliant, unbelievable color that holds on and won't let go. Got the urge?
Oh, yeah.
New Herbal Essences Hair Color from Clairol, a beauty all your own.
Our search continues for great American meals. In the Midwest, Hillshire Farm Cheddarwurst, bursting with real Wisconsin cheddar. Hungry for more quick meal ideas? HillshireFarm.com. Bring the flavor home.
Premiering July 17th, a whole new adventure awaits inside the Book of Pooh.
Look!
When Christopher Robin is away, Pooh and his pals come out to play.
Oh, I can't wait to hear a story.
It's a tale of fun, as everyone plans a very special surprise for Eeyore.
So you can see why I'm quite excited.
It's the all-new full-length adventure your whole family is sure to love.
A great adventure.
Jump into The Book of Pooh, premiering only on video and Disney DVD July 17th.
Mr. Wallace.
And you are just going to love these terms.
Your terms just aren't right.
Sorry.
I'm so sorry.
Mr. Regan, your rates are a little high.
That's not good. What's the word I'm thinking of?
I think it's no.
Mm-hmm. No.
Want banks to compete over you? Come to LendingTree.com. Fill out one form and get up to 4 offers within hours.
Oh, what a lovely time.
When banks compete, you win at LendingTree.com.
The Pizza Hut Tax Cut Special. First, you get a large Pizza Hut pizza. Second, you get it topped any way you want. It's like getting all those extra toppings for free. Third, it's the Twisted Crust Pizza with built-in breadsticks, so it's like getting those for free. All for just $9.99. Like a refund, but taste a whole lot better.
The Chevy Venture Warner Brothers Edition with a fully integrated entertainment center. You can count on a remarkably quiet ride. Chevy Venture. We'll be there.
Hi, I'm John Lithgow. You're watching E! Entertainment Television. Everything entertainment. Is that right?
Perfect.
Russel Crowe's 1994 American debut, The Quick and the Dead, proved to be just that at the box office. But the 31-year-old actor plugged right into another big-budget production, Virtuosity. the special effects-driven picture opened in August 1995 to virtually no business, making Crowe 0 for 2 in Hollywood.
It becomes more feudal with a studio movie because there's so much money around, you know, and everybody's really concerned about their job and whether they're going to have it the next morning and all that sort of stuff because of the, you know, what's the saying, flows downhill or something? You know? Can you say that on this? No, anyway.
Virtuosity and The Quick and the Dead really didn't do much for him at all. In fact, I was kind of looking up some of the Quick and the Dead reviews the other day, and in many of them he wasn't even mentioned.
Over the next 2 years, Crowe returned to his low-budget roots in films like Heaven's Burning and Rough Magic.
My attitude to it is that it's fun when you're a member of the circus, you know, when you kind of, the crew and the cast and everybody are together making something for a certain point, whether it be, you know, political or simply artistic or, you know, romantic, ideal, you know, and that's when it's really fun.
The films did little to raise Crowe's profile in America, but did give him time to adjust to life in LA.
It's a horrible thing to actually discover that you might like spending time in Los Angeles. Gee, I mean, I used to think I was relatively deep. I don't know what happened.
Crowe wasn't about to lose himself in Hollywood. In 1996, he rounded up some mates from his former band, the Roman Antics, and released a CD under the new name, 30-Odd Foot of Grunts. But it was Crowe's movie career, not his music, that was about to rock. In 1997, author James Ellroy's gritty L.A. Confidential was turned into a major motion picture by director Curtis Hanson. Crowe trained obsessively to transform his physique into that of a beefy police detective.
We started doing really heavy weights. I think I was bench pressing like 220, which for me is quite a large weight. Just wanted him to have that bulk, just have that size, you know, he's a tank.
He's a guy who's very dedicated to the role. He argued a lot with the writer of LA Confidential about whether or not his policeman character would have a drink. And James Ellroy said, there's just no way, this guy did not drink. And Russel Crowe didn't drink for the entirety of the shoot, which he said was one of the hardest things they've had to do. Australian men do tend to like their beer.
I was talking to Curtis Hanson about what he was like to work with. Curtis said, you know, I'd asked him to walk across the Hollywood freeway in heavy traffic, he would have done it for me. So I mean, I think that's, you know, that says a lot about Crowe. You know, he'll test you and test you, but then he'll be fiercely loyal once you've got his trust.
4 months before its release, LA Confidential was screened at the Cannes Film Festival, an unusual honor for a big studio film.
They screened the movie for me just before I went to Cannes, and people were talking about this film then, and then it really took off at the Cannes Film Festival.
Crowe's co-star was another actor from Down Under, Guy Pearce. His leading lady was Kim Basinger. The shining star power of the trio sent the red carpet crowd into a frenzy.
I always scratch the bottom of my new shoes. Do you know what I mean? Because you don't, for God's sakes, you don't want to fall, right? So when I held on to Russell and Guy, and I said, you guys hold on to me, because if I fall, you're going with me.
We actually can't see now because of all the flashes. That's what she said.
Yeah, and when the fireworks went off at the party, I took it personally. You know, I thought, hey, now somebody's really trying to hassle me.
I would put them at the very top of the list, and I really would. And they truly deserve to emerge from this with everything. They are true movie stars.
Basically, when the film first came out, there was so much like press about who are these two new American guys, you know, and how come we haven't sort of noticed them before, you know?
LA Confidential was released in August 1997 and became a critical and commercial smash. On the promotional trail, Crowe poured on the Aussie charm.
G'day folks, how you doing? I've actually been to Canada before. I made a movie here in Winnipeg and Brandon, and I'm really pleased to know that there's more to Canada.
In fact, during a visit to a New Zealand chat show, Crowe proved to be downright flirtatious.
Why don't we start?
All right.
In fact, why don't we just get up and go and have a cup of coffee somewhere?
Okay, fine. Yeah. I found it really
She
interesting.
says, looking at her left hand.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, now you've thrown me.
LA Confidential went on to gross more than $200 million worldwide. Australia's best-kept secret was a secret no more.
That was probably the turning point for Russell when it comes to the American audiences and American awareness.
Certainly directors and other actors in Hollywood became aware of him.
So people were like, wow, who is this?
Coming up.
Walking along this pack of piranhas is the hard bit.
And later, Russell sounds off about his relationship with Meg Ryan.
It's strange that I have to keep having conversations about things that are really not relevant to my job.
Hey, Talk Soup's going late night. Catch our premiere at midnight on Monday and 1 a.m. Tuesday through Friday. You know the times, right around when the buzz wears off.
Made from only fresh oranges, not from concentrate. Bursting with all the perfect goodness of life. Tropicana Pure Premium. Satisfy a deeper thirst.
I've been racing for 36 years. There's one thing that I've learned. Racing is all about trust. Trust in your crew, trust in your car.
Most importantly, trust in your tires.
We race on Firestone. They're committed to building quality tires.
Because whether you're going over 200 miles per hour
or just going home, it's all about trust.
For men, every morning it's the same routine. The desperate search for a way to relieve the pain after shaving.
Bye, babe.
Finally, there's a better way to soothe your skin. New Nivea for Men Aftershave Balm is an advanced blend of moisturizers and vitamins that soothe and actually improve your skin. Nivea Aftershave Balm. More evolved skincare.
Okay, Vegas, Austin, Tulsa, Vegas, honey, Yuma, and Austin. Straws, kids? Phoenix, huh?
Kitchen floor. I just cleaned it.
Tino's pizza rolls are so easy, kids can make them on their own. Pepperoni pizza stuffed into a bite-sized roll. Tino's, it's how kids help themselves.
After the success of the 1997 film LA Confidential, 33-year-old Russel Crowe was poised to join the ranks of Hollywood's leading men. But first, he'd have to survive filming another ensemble production, Mystery Alaska.
Got on the plane, arrived in Calgary, Alberta, and it was 36 degrees below. My first reaction was, why in the hell would anybody live here? Why would you bother living? Why? For half of the year, you can't do anything. Mate, 36 below, forget about it. Forget about it. I don't want to be involved in this weather like this.
Crowe's role as a small-town sheriff who moonlights as a hockey player proved to be as harsh as the weather.
Every time I hit the bloody ice, I got another lump. Yeah, me and the ice became very intimate, folks. Absolutely.
Once again, Crowe dedicated himself to being the best, on the rink and on the screen. At the film's premiere in May 1999, co-star Burt Reynolds gave Crowe his due.
I don't know where they found guys that could skate like that and could also hold their own with Russell Crowe, who's one of the best actors I've ever worked with in my life.
I mean, listen, you know, everyone could skate around me because I'd only just started learning, right? So what that builds after a period of time is a lot of frustration. You know, so what they learned that they could skate around me, but if I got anywhere near them, I was going to take that frustration out on them, just like a good Clarkie player should, you know.
But at the box office, Mystery Alaska found itself on thin ice. Crowe barely had time to notice. He was already deep into his role in The Insider.
The Insider, I think, was the movie that really amazed me and convinced me that he was an extraordinary actor. Because it was completely different from anything he had done before. Physically, to start, he transformed himself into this kind of pudgy, blonde, rather bland-looking guy.
Crowe packed on more than 40 pounds to portray 50-year-old anti-tobacco crusader Jeffrey Wigand.
I was in Kentucky, so I just did the bourbon and cheeseburgers, breakfast, lunch and dinner, and I really, really enjoyed it. However, getting the weight off took about 5.5 months, and that wasn't so pleasant.
He had to drink a lot of liquor to put on that weight. That's kind of an interesting way to prepare for a job.
At the film's premiere, co-star Al Pacino praised Crowe's near-obsessive dedication.
I thought Russell did a marvelous job. He transformed himself, because Russell's much different than the character he plays, and so I thought he did a marvelous job of transformation.
By the time the movie opened, Crowe had lost most of the weight, but not his growing distaste for the media.
This is the worst part of the job, folks, I tell you. Putting the makeup on and the sticky stuff and lying still for 2.5 hours in the morning, walking around with 50 pounds hanging off your gut and not being able to get out of cars and rocking backwards and forwards, that's the easy stuff. Walking along this pack of piranhas is the hard bit.
That would make me a snake.
Would it?
The Insider was not a box office hit, but earned critical raves. In February 2000, Crowe was in a somewhat awkward position when he learned he'd been nominated for a Best Actor Oscar.
I was in London and I was naked. I'd just come back from a run.
Did you run naked? It's none of my business.
No, I had some clothes on while I was running. It's a great privilege, mate. There's some people with some wonderful careers who've never been acknowledged in that manner, you know, and it puts you in a sort of a rarefied atmosphere. And, you know, I mean, I don't have any kind of cynical, cool attitude towards it at all, you know. I accept it as gracefully as I can, and, you know, and I'm very thankful for it.
Crowe's public profile grew during the 2000 awards season. His star burned ever brighter as he attended one award ceremony after the next. At the Golden Globes, he showed up with Jodie Foster on his arm. At times, the constant prodding about his Oscar chances became too much.
Hey ladies, leave me alone, would you? Oh, well, thank you very much. Well, we'll just leave it at between your lips and Bud's ears, eh?
In March, Crowe attended the Academy Awards with his 11-year-old niece, Chelsea. But Crowe went home empty-handed when Kevin Spacey won Best Actor.
He won a lot of critics' awards for it, deservedly, and I think should have won the Oscar that year. To me, it was the most extraordinary performance and really kind of rooted that movie.
Despite the loss, the spotlight on Crowe was more intense than ever. In March of 2000, New Zealand's Channel 1 News reported that Russell was the target of an extortion plot.
These are the images at the centre of the extortion bid. Taken last November, they show Russel Crowe in the black jacket involved in a brawl outside a bar in Coffs Harbour, north of Sydney. 3 men have been charged with attempting to blackmail Crowe over the security tape.
As the case went to trial, Crowe was putting the finishing touches on the film that made him one of Hollywood's most bankable stars. But Gladiator required Russell to take a big leap of faith.
They didn't really give me the script that they wanted to make. They gave me the script that they had, you know. But they said the main thing for you to sort of take in is the concept. It's going to be directed by Ridley Scott, set in 185 AD. And you start off as a general, you know. The script that they had was, well, it bears no relation to the movie that you've seen.
It's a very risky thing, you know. You can look damn silly out there in a stadium in your toga if things don't go right. And nobody attempted this kind of a movie in like 35 years. So it was very risky.
Director Ridley Scott.
Russell is very visceral, physical, aggressive performer, right? And that's what I felt I needed. So Russell was pretty well first choice.
Crowe's faith in the project paid off. Gladiator opened in May of 2000 and became the summer blockbuster. The picture made Crowe a movie star.
Well, If there were any doubts about Russell being a star, this one really pushed him into the sort of star stratosphere, whether or not he wanted to go there.
Coming up, Ryan, Russell, and the whole world watching.
But you know what they really want to know, Russell? Do you know what they want to know? Are you going out with Meg?
And later, the threat to kidnap Russell Crowe.
The FBI came to us in January and told us about a situation. They were very upfront and very open about it.
Wake up and smell the coffee with E! News Daily, now on every morning from 7 to 9. Get the latest showbiz buzz and the scoop on your favorite stars. Join Steve and Jules for the biggest stories from Hollywood every morning from 7 to 9 on E! News Daily, only on E!
E's always gone to the Emmys. Now an Emmy might go to E! The Television Academy has honored the E! True Hollywood Story with an Emmy nomination. The E! True Hollywood Story, every night at 9, only on E!
Presenting the all-new Mercury Mountaineer. With a fully independent rear suspension, it rides smooth. With a rigid boxed frame, vibrations are far less harsh. And with a fully automatic all-wheel drive system, it laughs at the terrain. The Mercury Mountaineer. At last, these canyons, peaks, and valleys have an SUV of their own. Starting under $30,000, see it at your local Mercury dealer now.
Now, experience the true intensity of color.
Introducing Herbal Essences Hair Color, made with pure color extracts that saturate your hair for intense color like never before. Shine so brilliant, unbelievable color that holds on and won't let go. Got the urge?
Oh, yeah.
New Herbal Essences Hair Color from Clairol, a beauty all your own.
The Television Academy has honored the E! True Hollywood Story with an Emmy nomination. The E! True Hollywood Story, every night at 9, only on E!
Those baby blue.
For every pair of eyes,
They got me cooking.
Lens Express has the perfect pair of contact lenses. Call Lens Express for name brand contacts just like the doctor ordered.
Gorgeous green.
Delivered to you for up to 50% off the retail price. And free shipping on your first order if you're a new customer. See a better way. Call Lens Express or visit lensexpress.com.
The Whirlwind Big Cup puts cat hair in its place.
8 out of 10 pet owners say the Eureka Whirlwind picks up pet hair better.
And the HEPA filter. It works. It makes it much better for my husband's allergies. No bags.
Over half of those with allergies report a noticeable improvement in symptoms.
The Whirlwind, the stair hose, and the turbo nozzle, all for under $200.
Clean as a snap with Eureka. No wonder 9 out of 10 Whirlwind owners would recommend it to a friend.
I would tell my friends to buy this vacuum.
While Gladiator conquered the world in the summer of 2000, 36-year-old Russel Crowe was deep in production of his next film, the hostage drama Proof of Life. The movie was shot in certain risky sections of South America, which left Crowe and co-star Meg Ryan wishing they'd read the fine print on their contracts.
You say yes to a movie and then they say, you know what, we're going to do it in Ecuador. Ecuador? Where's Ecuador?
Here I am in this country where the military supplies me, the actor, with 3 different gun licenses, basically saying, this is a dangerous place. We'll give you X amount of support, but you've got to look after yourself.
Just before we went, there was a coup. And then after that, this information that you'll be living at 12,000 feet altitude and be careful about what you eat and get all these shots. And not only that, you'll have a 24-hour day, 7-day-a-week security detail, and the whole movie is protected by the same people that the movie's about. I mean, a lot of stuff, a lot of concerns.
You know, just about a week before we started shooting in Quito, a couple of, I think, Turkish businessmen were just pulled out of a nightclub and chucked in a van and driven off.
Crowe and Ryan survived the shoot, but became targets of another group, the media. The couple bonded during filming and reportedly began an affair. Ryan was still married to Dennis Quaid, and journalists and paparazzi feasted on the story. But Crowe remained typically tight-lipped.
Oh, I think you can't stop, you know, human curiosity, mate, you know. It's unfortunate that my life has become a bit of a sport.
As Woody Allen says, the heart wants what it wants. if you want to keep the media out of your life, then don't date married stars.
Director Taylor Hackford wasn't happy the on-screen chemistry he'd hoped for exploded off-screen.
I'm really worried about it. To be honest with you, I have to be perfectly straight. I absolutely demanded that people come in character. I didn't even know they had a relationship. I mean, I'm intensely making this movie, and there is within their characters a line, an arc that builds, and the relationship builds, and there's real sexual tension and attraction that goes on. I'm seeing it in the camera, but that's what I'm going after, so it's fine for me. In reality, however, they were very disciplined, very professional. None of that stuff, came on the set. And they acquitted themselves beautifully in this film. This film is not the tabloid story. There's things that surprise you in this film. There's things that you haven't read in the National Enquirer. You think there's no such thing as bad publicity. A lot of people say it. I look at this and say there is the danger that people are going to say, oh, I know that story. I read it in the People magazine. The same thing happened in the movie. No, it didn't.
Taylor's concerns proved well-founded. Everywhere Crowe went, it seemed the only thing people wanted to know about was his relationship with Ryan.
Tremendous, but you know what they really wanted? I'll tell you. Are you going up with Meg? Now, Paul, this is really vastly expensive dead air you're wasting here, No. Let me just show people the city of London behind me. As you can see, behind me we've got, look, it's a wall. Big Ben as always.
The city's moved, the whole city's moving.
It's strange that I have to keep having conversations about things that are really not relevant to my job.
On release, negative publicity and lukewarm reviews proved the kiss of death for Proof of Life. Ryan and Crowe's relationship also fizzled.
I'd like to do another film with her again, actually. I think we've got a great chemistry together.
Has she expressed a desire to do that? Or?
We've talked about it, yeah. I mean, look, this is the thing, we've both got really big lives, man, and I'm not in my 20s. I can't just drop all the things that drive me as a man. I'm 36 years old. She's of a similar age, and she has the same size of life. And, she's a beautiful and courageous woman, mate, And spending time with her was one of the luckiest things in my life, I think.
The couple's breakup took place right in the middle of awards season in Hollywood. Russell's summer 2000 hit Gladiator was showered with accolades, many for Crowe himself.
I'm thrilled to present the Show West Male Star of the Year to Russel Crowe.
I want to thank a great company called DreamWorks. I want to thank Mr. Spielberg, Mr. Geffen, and Mr. Katzenberg. That's in descending order of height.
Gladiator was once thought to be merely a crowd-pleasing epic, but the movie gained critical momentum and received 12 Academy Award nominations, including a Best Actor nod for Russel Crowe. Shortly before the Oscar ceremony, special screenings were held featuring, well, who else?
Thank you. I mean, I can't really say anything about this movie that you haven't, heard or read, 100 times. I mean, it was a hell of an adventure. Fabulous crew to work with, fabulous situation. Ridley's a bastard. Let's not talk about him.
But just weeks later, Crowe wasn't laughing. His life took a twist that was frighteningly similar to the plot of Proof of Life.
American FBI agents have confirmed that Crowe was apparently the target of kidnapping threats and is under tight security as he tours the world promoting his new film.
We are acknowledging that the FBI is investigating an apparent kidnap threat that was levied some time ago regarding Russel Crowe.
We were talking with the FBI in the first meeting, and after they'd gone through some very serious stuff, and then one of the guys just sort of looked at me and said, Mr. Crowe, on a slightly lighter note, we've been talking in the office, and we do believe that the logistics involved in getting you to do something that you do not want to do is way beyond this organization. Anyway, have a nice day, folks.
Coming up, the surprising story behind Crowe's Oscar speech, and...
So I've had an interesting year, and there's parts of it that I wouldn't necessarily want to repeat.
They outran critics.
The scripts were inane.
To become a runaway hit.
I never thought that my shorts would become a phenomenon.
But while the Dukes served millions good old fun,
Half of the fan letters would be for General Lee.
off-screen, Hazard County lived up to its name.
There was a lot of drug use on the set.
That car was simply going down the road and it flipped.
It's the story you haven't heard.
How do they handle all those girls? They handle them often.
The Dukes of Hazzard, coming up next on the E! True Hollywood Story.
Okay, Vegas, Austin, Tulsa, Vegas, honey, Yuma, and Austin. Straws, kids? Phoenix, huh?
Mr. Wallace.
And you are just going to love these terms.
Your terms just aren't right.
I'm sorry.
I'm so sorry.
Mr. Regan, your rates are a little high.
That's not good. What's the word I'm thinking of?
I think it's no.
No.
Want banks to compete over you? Come to lendingtree.com. Fill out one form and get up to 4 offers within hours.
Oh, what a lovely time.
When banks compete, you win at lendingtree.com.
Now, experience the true intensity of color.
Introducing Herbal Essences Hair Color, made with pure color extracts that saturate your hair for intense color like never before. Shine so brilliant, unbelievable color that holds on and won't let go. Got the urge?
Oh, yeah.
New Herbal Essences Hair Color from Clairol, a beauty all your own.
Made from only fresh oranges, not from concentrate. Bursting with all the perfect goodness of life. Tropicana Pure Premium. Satisfy a deeper thirst.
I am a jungle gym. I am a trampoline. I am a brick wall. I am not a washing machine.
Now you don't have to be. New Era Max. A powerful combination of tough stain removal and color-safe whitening.
I am a finish line.
New Era Max. This is your era.
The last days of JFK Jr. Tomorrow at 9 on the E! True Hollywood Story.
You know, when you're 5 and 6 years old and you want to be the pirate or you want to be Robin Hood, you know, well, I am. And I get paid for it.
And paid handsomely. The success of the movie Gladiator pushed Russel Crowe's asking price to a reported $15 million per picture. And Crowe's done it by following the lead of classic Hollywood bad boys, star maker Jay Bernstein.
Russel Crowe comes across to me with the appearance of a John Wayne or a William Holden, a little scruffier, but with the smart mouth that's just fun, sarcastic, of a Richard Burton or Lee Marvin, who did not care what they said.
There's a lot going on inside that you don't see, that he's withdrawn, he's within. He has a very big inner life, and I think that's something he conveys really well.
I've always suspected that this kind of hard shell, this kind of tough guy exterior hides a rather sensitive actor, but it's his protective covering.
Crowe revealed a glimpse of that sensitive side at the 2001 Oscar ceremony. He surprised many when he showed up with ex-girlfriend Danielle Spencer on his arm. Then, when Crowe won the Best Actor award, he dedicated the statuette to his late grandfather and uncle.
I think once he got up there and accepted his Oscar, he was actually very gracious, and it was a nice speech.
Crowe used the opportunity to reflect on his roots and his life.
This is my grandfather's MBE, which stands for Member of the British Empire. He was awarded this by the Queen of England.
for his work as a war photographer in the Second World War.
So I've had an interesting year. There's parts of it that I wouldn't necessarily want to repeat, but you know, I've got a big life. I've constructed a big life.
And a big career. Crowe managed to conquer Hollywood without letting Hollywood conquer him.
I have a feeling that Russel Crowe may not have any contempt for the Hollywood game. I think he's just learned how to play it.
He's a complicated guy, which I think is what keeps people interested in him. They're not sure they can pin him down, and mystery is a great asset for a star.
He seems to have a lot of inner life that we, as viewers and as people who read about his life, can't access. And that always makes somebody more romantic and intriguing.
He had that song when he was a teenager, I want to be just like Marlon Brando. Maybe there's a whole generation now, I want to be just like Russel Crowe.
20 years ago, when I taught him, if we had carried out a poll and said which student is likely to win the Academy Award, Russel Crowe would probably be way, way, way down the list. No one really took him too seriously, but he knew better, and he did better than any of us.
I pinch myself pretty much daily, you know. I'm just a young suburban boy, mate, you know, who had the odd occasional flight of fancy, you know, and I managed to make that into my living.
Now I've just got to try and clear my head and come up with something interesting to say. I'm just a sport sort of, you know, person. When you know, especially if it's not me getting beaten up or run over and all that sort of stuff, you know, I love to watch.
And I've done films where everyone has a little bit of a laugh before the camera rolls, and they're the ones that you remember with, you know, enjoyment.
Oh, am I girl or what? 3 in a row. I'm a lover of the demon dog, a pound member, as we call, a fully paid pound member. That was really politically incorrect, wasn't that shocking?
On January 26, 1979, an action-packed Southern comedy called The Dukes of Hazzard.
How are you, buddy?
I'm good. How are you doing?
You have fun being a movie star, huh?
Yeah, I do actually.
You do, but you really enjoy it, and that's what I like.
It's true. I do enjoy the movie star lifestyle.
And you have the best perk. I mentioned this the other night because I brought my wife to your home because she didn't
That's
believe
right.
me.
We had a Christmas party.
That's right. And you have a car and a motorcycle in the living room of your house. And my wife said, no, we're not doing that. I said, Nick Cage has one. Nick Cage has one himself. My wife says, Nick Cage does not have, he has a car and a motorcycle, he has a Jaguar in the living room. Shut up. I said, fine, we'll go there. And we went there. Thank you.
Well, thank you for coming. I hope someday she'll let you put the car in the living room.
No,
it's a great treat. It's actually not in the living room anymore. I had to take it out because
shut up.
Well, okay, but I raced it at Willow Springs.
Right.
It's a 1955, as you remember, Jaguar D-Type, and it exploded on me while I was racing, and oil was flying everywhere. So now I don't have it in my house anymore.
How did you get it in the house?
Well, it takes 12 guys, 12 strong guys, and they put it on its side, okay, with like towels so not to scratch the floor.
You don't want to scratch the floor.
Right, right. And then they bring it in through the window, which is it's a very nerve-wracking experience,
And the guys do it just for the beer, don't they? That's the great thing.
That's right.
Yeah, you give them the beer, and they carry a car. What's better? Those are friends.
Oh, yeah. Oh, they're good guys, but I'm never there when they do it because I'm like this, you know, I'm a nervous wreck.
That's very funny. Now, let's talk about Tuesday. You had that's the ultimate honor. The star on Hollywood Boulevard, that's cool.
Right.
But you got the hands and the feet, and that's reserved for like Humphrey Bogart, right? It's John Wayne.
Well, it's funny you mentioned Bogart because when I was about 15 years old, I actually went down to Grauman's Chinese Theater and I walked around and I stood in his shoes and I would dream about, like, wouldn't it be great if one day this could happen? And then the day where it actually did happen, when it did occur, after John Madden, the director of Corelli's, made his nice comments, and then you, which was very kind, you made your very great, funny comments. The mayor, Johnny Grant, got up and then he said, "Welcome, Nicholas." And I came up, and just as I said thank you, he fell on his ass.
Right.
And I thought, is this really happening at this moment right now? And did he fall in your lap? I mean, what happened?
Johnny Grant is the honorary mayor of Hollywood. He's been doing, I think he probably did Humphrey Bogart star.
Probably,
Because he's no kid. I don't know how old he is. He's probably up there.
Yeah.
And he got up there and he was wobbling. And I said, you know, I think he's going to fall over. So I kind of snuck over this way. So luckily, I
you did catch him.
Well, we have tape. Here it is. Here
Do
it is.
you really?
Yeah, here.
Great.
Here he is. Now see me sitting there.
Yeah.
And I notice his posterior moving towards the end. I jump out. Oh, there we go. Just caught him. There's Jim Carrey, completely bewildered by what's happening, ladies and gentlemen. But he was fine.
He was fine, yeah. But I thought I pushed him over. I didn't know what happened, but should have seen it from my angle. It was like the expression on his face.
I know, you're getting... Imagine if he fell with his ass in your cement. That would have been terrible.
Well, it would have been a very special piece of cement.
Now, a lot of your friends are there. Now, you and Jim Carrey are good friends. And
yes.
I always wondered... See, that was always a kind of a cool thing to me, how certain people get together. Like, before I was kind of in show business, I was amazed that Anne Bancroft was married to Mel Brooks. How do they get together? And like you and Jim Carrey, you seem so serious as an actor, and you know, he's kind of an off-the-wall guy. How did you guys get to be friends?
We're sort of polar opposites, but we always have a lot of good laughs, as you can imagine. And the beautiful thing about our friendship is that we sort of came up together.
Yeah.
And it's rare to have friends that are in the same business, that are supportive of one another. So I really, I treasure that friendship.
Because you guys did what, Peggy Sue Got Married?
We did Peggy Sue Got Married almost 15 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, and well, we've had a lot of fun, so it's great.
Okay, we'll take a break, and we come back. Oh, I want to ask you about Lisa Marie Presley. Like, you guys are going out.
Yeah, we've been dating for about 4 months.
Oh, don't tell me now.
Okay.
Wait a minute. Come on. Right back, more with Nick Cage right after.
Now, I know you're engaged, but in our house, it's our rules. Good night.
Well, good night, sir.
Good night, Daddy.
All imported hops give Michelob Light a smooth, satisfying taste you won't find in an ordinary beer. Scoot over.
You're such a nice boy.
Beer or Michelob Light?
You almost done?
Yes, sir, Mr. Curse. Got your DirecTV system all hooked up. Also signed you up for all your local channels.
Cool.
And set you up with the NFL Sunday Ticket so your family can watch you every Sunday.
Hey, good effort.
I'll let myself out.
NFL Sunday Ticket. Up to 13 regular season games every Sunday. Now get our best programming package free for 4 months, plus free professional installation.
Hey, your pen!
Keep it!
Chevy Tahoe offers a third row of seats that's light and easier to handle than anything else out there. Chevy Tahoe, like a rock.
Tonight on Conan, Carolyn Ray, Jim Brewer, and other than the people being arrested, it's really a relaxing show.
Really tense back here. Really tense.
Friday, a 2-hour Dateline at 8/7 Central. Catastrophe. A shooter opens fire. Heroes look back at the Tower of Terror. Dateline Friday on NBC.
I am a CPA, so I know how to make the numbers add up. When I went looking for a new truck, the numbers had to be just right for me to buy. That's why I went to Westside Chevrolet in Katy, because they had the price I was looking for.
#1 New York Times bestselling author Sandra Brown takes you to new heights of suspense. The Switch by Sandra Brown. The New York Times bestseller, now in paperback.
It's Red Hot Summer Savings at all Room Store locations, and the deals are sizzling. For example, this 2-piece African motif sofa and love seat group is just $888 for both pieces. And your choice of Sealy Posturepedic or Simmons Beauty Rest 2-piece queen sets are only $288. Plus, there's no money down, not even the sales tax. No payment and no interest until August of next year. The hottest prices and great selection. Now during Red Hot Summer Savings at all Room Store locations.
We put it all together and save you more at the Room Store.
Morning, Harris. Paper?
Not today, Bob.
Looking for a wireless camera, huh, Harris?
What?
Heard you're looking for a new job, Harris. Need your carpets cleaned, Harris?
MP3 player?
Looking for a cell phone? Want to know your future, Harris?
Look here. Look
here.
Is your internet provider selling your personal information?
Love life not what it should be, huh, Harris?
Switch to the #1 provider of the real internet. Call 1-800-EARTHLINK.
It's Toyota clearance time. Clearance happens just once a year, and you'll like the values on the summer's biggest inventory. Everyone all over the world likes the best-selling car in history, Toyota Corolla. Now pocket $1,000 cash back on Corolla when you buy. $1,000 cash back to use as a down payment or however you like it. Toyota's 2001 clearance, going on coast to coast.
Cambrell Marshall and Dominic Saxa, weekdays on News to Houston, first at 4.
Welcome back. Talking with Nicolas Cage. Captain Corelli's Mandolin is his new film. Now, as I mentioned, I was sitting next to Lisa Marie. Now, how long have you guys been going out?
It was about 4 months. We were friends for about a year first. I met her at a friend's, mutual friend's house for a party.
Well, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's very cool. She's a very honest person, and I admire that quality.
Because I remember, like, there was a rumor going around that you had Elvis on your answering machine. Have you ever heard this?
Yeah, I've been reading that in the magazines of late. Yeah, it's absolutely untrue.
No, okay.
I've always loved Elvis's singing. I think he's the greatest voice in rock and roll, but I've never impersonated his voice on my outgoing message on my home answering machine. So I don't know where that came from.
It's just one of those things.
It just is. You know.
Like, there was a rumor that I had one of Elvis's bikes.
Really?
That was another one that I had bought. This.
Oh, that you bought it?
It was something at a garage sale. Somebody bought for $25, and I paid $1 million for it. You see,
right?
Paying me more money than Brains Club, but no, that's not true. But that surfaces every now and then. I don't know how it starts, but it's fun.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, those are good to go.
The enduring myth.
Now, tell us about Captain Corelli's Mandolin.
Well, it's 1940s. I'm an Italian soldier, World War II. We're invading Ethiopia, and not Ethiopia.
I think I saw a different film. The film I saw, we were in Greece.
That's right.
Yeah, in Greece.
See, I made another World War II picture where I was an Italian soldier invading Ethiopia. So my Italian soldiers.
Oh, forget that one.
Right.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm invading Greece. And I fall in love with a Greek girl, not an Ethiopian girl.
With a Greek girl. That's when you fall in love with the Ethiopian girl.
Right, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So obviously a memorable experience for you, I imagine.
Right, yeah.
Because it didn't look like Ethiopia to me. It looked
just a little bit like Ethiopia mixed with Santa Barbara or something. But it was a beautifully shot movie. John Toll did the photography, and it's a gorgeous film to look at. Corelli's.
Right.
I know. I guess you have a clip. I guess in the clip, she's. I'm going off to fight a battle, and she's saying, "When you come back to me, when it's over, you'll come back to me," or some bull like that.
Right. Okay. So forget all that Ethiopian bullshit. And you have an accent in this.
I have a full-blown Italian accent.
The full-blown Italian accent. I'm not sure what that means exactly.
It means it's in full bloom. I'm not cutting any corners.
Because you see, you're like me. Your ancestry is Napolitan.
Yeah, that's right. Half Italian-American.
Half Italian-American, okay. And also something, I have a bet with someone. Is that you playing the mandolin, or they put in the...
No, that is me playing the mandolin on the set. But then they had to re-record it with somebody else because of sound and all that. But it is, I had to learn, so...
So what it is, you played so crappy, they had to re-record it, is what you're saying.
I'm not going to say that. Yeah, no, you're not pulling that quote out of me.
Okay. Well, let's take a look. Here's the scene. Now, this is the scene, I forgot what it was. This is what's happening here?
This is where she says, "When it's over, you'll come back to me," or some bull like that.
The lovely Penelope Cruz. Let's take a look.
If we resist now, we can beat them.
What if the Germans send planes?
Don't go near Argostoli. Stay away from Antisamos Beach.
I want to lie across the road so that you can't leave.
Keep your gun with you at all times. Promise me.
Come back to me.
Promise me.
When it's over, you will come back to me.
Nicolas Cage movie is Captain Corelli's Mandolin. Very romantic, very charming film. Nick, thank you. I know you got to run. Be right back with Russel Crowe and 30-odd foot of drums right after this.
New sneakers to help her play basketball and win a college scholarship, $26. Books to help her learn her ABCs and become a best-selling author, $30. Globe so she can learn her continents, which will come in handy when she's president, $18. Remembering to take it one day at a time, priceless. There are some things money can't buy. For everything else, there's MasterCard. Accepted for everything you want for your kids.
Wait till you see this.
You'll love it.
Well, Howie, you're gonna love
This, too. Oh, yeah? Yeah.
Get the Combat Creative Learning Series system with a library of software and up to $400 in rebates with 2 years of MSN Internet access at $21.95 a month.
So what do you think, Terry?
Terry.
Yeah.
That's sweet.
And yours?
Nothing.
Only at Radio Shack.
Time magazine calls The Others chilling. Rolling Stone says it turns the screws of psychological terror.
What do you want?
It sizzles with suspense. Nicole Kidman. The Others, rated PG-13, now in theaters everywhere.
Romance, the beauty, a new way to shop, the world of Ralph Lauren. For men, women, children, and now for the home. Just a click away. Polo.com.
We chose white because it was
clean
and simple.
I just wanted a splash of color.
Kind of kooky, little pizzazz.
Different strokes for different folks, all at one store.
Went to Home Depot, now I'm painting.
I can help you do that. I can show you how. Okay. Glidden for my girls' room.
See, you can do it.
That's easy.
Yeah.
That's all bear right there.
I love Ralph Lauren. This looks good.
Thank you.
I'm so glad I went to Home Depot first.
The Home Depot.
Now this same feeling is available in a car.
Zoom, zoom, zoom.
Introducing the all-new Mazda Protege 5.
Yeah, zoom, 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 zoom. Zoom, zoom, zoom. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Same feeling.
Zoom, zoom.
New form.
Yeah, zoom, zoom, zoom. Yeah, zoom, zoom, zoom. Yeah, zoom.
Excuse me? Dude, wake up. Hello, yoo-hoo.
Just a reminder, Wendy's pickup window's open late, so you can get a classic half-pound double with cheese made fresh.
Forget something?
And eat great, even late.
Committing murder is like a race. Every second counts. One mistake, and you're finished. That's where I come in.
I'm only happy when it rains.
Everybody has a story to tell.
Jill Hennessy, Crossing Jordan, coming to NBC Mondays.
We've come a long, long way together. I have to praise you like I should.
Join us for live American Quarter Horse Racing this Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at Sam Houston Race Park. Friday, the Jiffy Lube Texas Music Revolution presented by Singular Wireless continues, featuring the Bellamy Brothers live on the Coors Light stage. Plus, every Sunday is Jimmy G's Cajun Day, featuring live Zydeco music and Cajun cuisine. It's all happening this weekend at Sam Houston Race Park.
My next guest is a great actor who won an Academy Award this year for his performance in Gladiator, as you know, who killed Caesar. But that's just his day job. Tonight he's performing with his band. We'll talk to them later. Chris, he's going to sing. His CD is called Bastard Life or Clarity. Please welcome Russel Crowe and 30-odd foot of grunts, ladies and gentlemen.
Sailors going home again from over the ocean. He's been away so long, oh, he's forgotten his name. He left it in our hearts somewhere, no one to remind him. Told it to a stranger, she took it away. Oh, there comes a time when you understand. Falling in love is part of the plan. And you can stay awake tonight, thinking of a dozen names. Oh, I can only sleep in your arms, so when I stay awake, I sail those same oceans again. So when I took my hat to the breeze of the evening, succumb to the flowers, you see they'll marry me. Then my love will walk away, and it's like a painting. So there's no more changes, no more tales of the sea. You gotta get out, well I understand. Falling apart wasn't part of the plan. And you can stay awake tonight, thinking of a dozen names. Oh, I can only sleep in your arms, so when I stay awake, I'll sail those same oceans again. Oh. There comes a time when you understand. Falling in love is part of the plan. And you can stay awake tonight, thinking of a dozen names. Oh, I can only sleep in your arms, so when I stay awake, I'll sail those same oceans again. And you can stay awake tonight, thinking of a dozen names. Oh, I can only sleep in your arms, so when I stay awake, I'll sail those same oceans again. Oh.
Jay, welcome, Ron.
Thank you.
Good to, great job. Good to have you back. So, you can quit that day job.
Morning, everybody. How are we?
Now, see, that's a sign of a true musician. Morning, everybody. What time is it?
Very early.
That's the sign. How you been? You look good.
Thank you, mate. Cool.
Look like you're having fun.
Yeah, I am. We're not even halfway through yet. We're actually getting a bit tired. We're dragging ourselves around.
Well, you know, you have a great show in a city, you know, like Chicago. You want to stay up and have a couple of drinks with everybody.
That's right. There you are. That's how you do it.
And that's a big city, right?
That's one of my favorite cities.
That's
the
great
best
city.
food. Well, we'll go into that later.
Okay.
Now your fellow Aussie was here last night, Nicole. Nikki. Oh,
yeah,
Nikki.
She rang me and told me.
Nicole
She warned
Kidman. Oh,
me.
she called.
Yeah, she warned me.
Well, she said, I never kissed. Well, that's English, isn't it? No. She said, no, I've never kissed Russell Crowe. I read all these things. She says she's never kissed you.
I think she was pulling your leg, mate.
Oh, no.
She's pulling. I've actually been in a number of adult situations with Nicole.
Really? Really? Really?
Yep. She wasn't there at the time.
Oh, I see.
It gets lonely on the road, mate. You guys know how it is.
It does get lonely.
Sorry. Alrighty. Over now.
As an actor, one has to use one's imagination.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's right.
That's what I get paid for.
That's right.
Yes.
Now, when did you get started in music? Were you doing music before acting?
Yeah. A long time before. You know, I mean, I did my first TV show the same year as I got my first guitar, and for me, it's a completely credible means of expression.
Yeah.
You know, and I know it's not cool at the moment, but I've never considered myself that anyway, so it doesn't really matter. And it's just something I do, and unlike a lot of other people, I sell, more CDs now than I did at the beginning, type of thing,
Now, were you Russell Crowe? Did you have a different name?
I had well, now listen, I asked your fellow not to move it up. Anyway, straight out of high school. Thanks, mate. Straight out of high school, I was working in a sort of an anachronistic 1950s rock and roll club, and basically everybody from the hat check girl to the barmaid to the people in the band and stuff had a nickname. And when I was 16, I was given the mantle of Russ LaRock.
Russ LaRock. So wow. So apparently they get the Flintstones down there too.
My mum actually asked me, because when my first couple of records came out, they came out as Russ LaRock, and she said, darling, everybody's really concerned about that, and why are you, hiding your real name? Aren't you proud of it? And I said, have you heard the records? It's going to be okay. When I do something decent, I'll just go back to my own name.
Now, what's better, rock star or movie star? What's more fun?
I don't really think of it in those terms, I get a real buzz out of doing the band stuff. I mean, film is great, man. It's a cerebral venture. You construct the performance in your lounge room, you go and do your job, then year and a half later, you see the effect of that, the series of emotional points that you may have planned and whether you've taken the audience with them or not. Rock and roll is right there, right then, and it's just completely immediate, and that's what's exciting about it.
Now, I read a rumor, and I know this is any truth, that you possibly might do the next Bond. Would you be a James Bond? Now, that would be very cool. I think that would be fun. That kind of a...
Well, it's only a rumor, but that's actually been in the newspapers 2 or 3 times. I actually believe that the people that own James Bond stick that in the newspapers just to freak out whoever the Bond is at the moment as they're coming up to contractual negotiations, But it's got to be that. Oh, they've never actually approached me about it, So I'm one of those few people that actually think Roger Moore is the coolest James Bond. I mean, I watched him on the Saint and the Persuaders and stuff, and I like that. But I actually reckon if you're going to refresh the James Bond thing, he's got to be decidedly more aggressive,
More aggressive, like the Sean Connery, more not so politically.
Sean Connery, on Mach 5 or something, Just get that sort of thing going, and stop fighting. So I mean, Pierce is doing a great job. He's obviously made them a lot of money and revitalised the franchise, but my kind of Bond would be a little, little heavier, I think, Just get in there and, just really crunch things,
Just to get you in a suit, I would go see that. Just to see you in a suit.
I got one.
Have you got a suit? Yeah. And this is available on your website, right?
Yeah, it is, but we've also just done a deal with an American record company. After kind of a long time discussing with people, we found a record company who could actually do an honest deal because they're completely independent.
Yeah, that's great.
So they're called Artemis, and I think it's officially released here September 11th.
September 11th. Well, that's great.
You can go to www.gruntland.com and
there you go. Well, you do a great job. Russell, thank you very much. Be right back right after this.
Tonight on Conan, Carolyn Ray, Jim Brewer. And other than the people being arrested, it's really a relaxing show.
Really tense back here. Really tense.
Real people taken to the farthest corners of the earth. Stranded with nothing in the middle of nowhere. Now the race is on to get home. Where are you? Lost, NBC Wednesdays in 3 weeks.
Goran Ivanisevic, crowned Wimbledon champion in one of the most dramatic finals ever. His comeback continues at the RCA Championships. Coverage begins Saturday at 2 Eastern.
Stars romances with their bodyguards. Kevin and Whitney did it on screen. Now, when celebrities and the men who protect them fall in love. Plus, the Leo movie exclusive and Hollywood's leading ladies single again next ET.
Tonight at 11:35 on Channel 2.
I decided to get Roadrunner over DSL, and I haven't looked back.
Roadrunner works instantly.
Roadrunner delivers high-speed online service with a powerful network that expands as demand grows.
It's ready when I am, morning, noon, or night.
The cable network is perfect for all the video, sound, and graphics you expect with high-speed online.
Just point at what you want, click, and you got it.
The choice is easy.
Beep, beep.
It's Roadrunner.
Call 713-341-1000 and you could get Roadrunner installed for free with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Why wait?
Everyone knows that Chryslers, Jeeps, and Dodges are cheaper in Hempstead. And at Lawrence Marshall, we prove it every day. No hype, no hassle. Just our low Marshall discount price on every Chrysler, Jeep, and Dodge in our huge inventory. Before you pay too much at some big city dealer, call 1-800-324-SAVE. You like saving money, don't you? Then head out Highway 290 to Lawrence Marshall. We clobber big city prices.
So, as you can see, no one is to use the cable modem between 3 and 10 p.m. These are peak usage hours, and it moves slower.
Well, when can we use it?
Good question, Greg. Barbara.
Okay, from now on, you go to bed at 5 p.m. and wake up at 1 a.m. to avoid cable modem slowdown. Greg, your slot is from 1 to 2. Cindy, you've got 2 to 3.
Hey, 2 to 3?
Yeah.
There is a better way to get online. Southwestern Bell DSL Internet. We're on it. Call today for a special offer.
Today, I'm standing in a very large suit to make a very large statement. I need a new agent. Nah, what I'm really saying is that Mervyn's has big brands, and right now they're at huge savings during the back-to-school sale. This week, the entire stock of athletic shoes is on sale, including Vans, Reebok, and Adidas. Another big reason why Mervyn starts with me. Hurry, sale ends Saturday. I'm running to Mervyn's. Or maybe I'll just drive.
When did you stop loving
Furniture
me?
not quite perfect anymore.
How long have I been a memory?
Come to the Perfect 10 sale this Saturday at Star Furniture. Save an extra 10% off everything, including everything already on sale, plus no finance charges for 10 months. The Perfect 10 sale this Saturday at Star.
Coming up tomorrow morning on Daybreak, making sure Houston doesn't repeat Florida's mistakes on Election Day, and a cyberspace trip back to your youth.
Get more news, traffic, and weather to get your Friday started at News 2 Houston Daybreak starting at 5.
I want to thank my guests, Russel Crowe, Bastard Life for Clarity with the 30-odd foot of Grunts Band, and of course, our buddy Nicolas Cage, Captain Crowley's Mandolin, which opens tomorrow night. Nicholas, thank you for coming by. Russell, always a pleasure, lad. See you in Boulder. Be in Boulder this weekend. Stay tuned for Conan. Bye.
Chuck George's Neighborhood Weather, tomorrow morning on News 2 Houston Daybreak.
It's actually possible. But me move there? That's just crazy talk.
You can accomplish anything, even optical networking. Fujitsu, the possibilities are infinite. One night, one voice, one unforgettable collection. Katie Lang, the new album, Live by Request. A live retrospective of Katie Lang classics featuring Constant Craving, Trail of Broken Hearts, and Crying. Album Live by Request.
Tomorrow on Business Center, who could forget the crash of 29 or 87? Fall months historically bring the market to its knees. Looking ahead to September and October, see what strategies experts use to turn the odds in their favor. Join Ron and Sana and Sue Herrera tomorrow on CNBC Business Center at 6 p.m. Eastern. Profit from it.
You're watching MSNBC.
soldier, the healer, the backstabber, the temptress, the brains, the muscle, and one guy stuck in the middle.
You want to run that by me one more time?
Sci-Fi's biggest hit series.
Pilot, break orbit.
Now 4 nights a week.
I love hanging with you, man.
Experience the best sci-fi show on television. From the beginning, Sci-Fi's Farscape. Every Monday through Thursday at 8. Only on Sci-Fi.
The current radar picture is showing most of the shower and thunderstorm activity across the deep south. So if you're flying out of Houston, there may be some delays. In Atlanta tomorrow, clouds and sun. There may be some thunderstorms in the afternoon, which could delay some flights. However, in Cleveland, Ohio, expect plenty of sunshine. No travel problems there. In Philadelphia, it'll also be sunny and warm with no travel problems expected there as well.
They like his masculinity. They like his toughness. The guy who looks like he'd throw you on the bed.
Unleash hell.
He's solid as granite.
I will have my vengeance.
Cool and confidential. Russel Crowe, a man's man and a tabloid magnate.
It's all kind of rubbish.
Heating it up early on with his first true love, music.
I released some records and they all went rocketing straight to the bottom of the chart.
Just wanna be like Marlon Brando.
He was breathtaking. I mean, you could not take your eyes off him. Star quality.
In this hour, the celluloid gladiator who chose not to play the Hollywood insider.
The script that they had didn't satisfy anybody involved. There was friction.
His temper.
There have been some ugly scenes. Fisticuffs, usually under the influence of alcohol.
His talent.
Just happen to have one of these just hanging around.
And what's behind those troubling kidnapping threats.
The FBI went with him into the bathroom, 7 of them.
And a look beyond the big awards and unflattering ink for some things you may not know.
That kind of tabloid attention, you feel a little hunted and you feel strange.
In this hour,
what we doing live?
Powerful performances.
Echoes of eternity.
Russel Crowe.
This is Headliners and Legends with Matt Lauer.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to Headliners and Legends. Not so long ago, Russel Crowe was largely unknown to American moviegoers and to the tabloids. But then a string of powerful performances and an Oscar for Gladiator changed all that. But along with fame comes a reputation, and for Crowe, that's included talk about a difficult attitude and well-publicized romances, including an affair with Meg Ryan. Add reports of a kidnapping plot against him, and it's Tinseltown at its finest. Well, how's he handling it all? As you'll see, with that trademark Russel Crowe confidence.
The thing that really sells about him is his mojo, his screen mojo. He's very manly, he's very masculine.
He's the 5'11" Aussie, packed with acting ability and attitude.
Moving right along.
He slayed the bad guys in Gladiator.
Are you not entertained?
And played the bad guy at the Oscars.
I'm an actor and I read the script and I learn the lines and I put the costume on and Bob's your uncle.
You did more than that.
Next question.
Whatever.
His temper is as legendary as the screen icons he's compared to, like James Dean and Richard Burton. But he's also an enigmatic character behind the gruff